Hey, welcome to another episode of Declination. My name is David, and this is my YouTube channel. I'm going to be spending the next 5 years traveling around the world, taking you guys with me. Right now, I'm in Queenstown. It's absolutely gorgeous, but I spent the last 2 weeks getting here, so I made a video about that. You're about to watch it. Hope you enjoy, and thanks for tuning in. So, I've left Te Puke, and now I'm in Raglan. I'm going to show you guys where I'm at right now. I wish you could see. This is lovely Natalie. And I'm out here. This beautiful beach landscape. Another beach. And then soon I'm going to the South Island. And it's going to be some mountains. But for right now, I just got to deal with this. But while we were in Raglan, we were glamping. We stayed in these cute little tents. There's 3 beds and there's 4 of us, so it worked out perfect. And the facilities there were awesome. There's like a nice little vegan cafe, and they had really good food, really good breakfast, really good pizzas. And there's some hiking trails. There were some other cabins, but they're made out of like old train cars, and that was pretty cool. The place is called Soulscape, and I highly recommend it if you're ever in Raglan. Alright, hey guys, I'm at some waterfalls. I'll show you guys around here in a second. So there's actually a bunch of parks like this and waterfalls like this all around New Zealand, especially in this area around Raglan. There's a bunch of waterfalls. They're really easy to find. You can find them on Google, you can find them on All Trails, you can find them on just the internet. It's pretty intuitive. This is just one that my friend had picked out that she wanted to go to, so we went here and it is pretty spectacular. Yeah, the rock wall behind the waterfall, it's crazy. You can see all these lines from the lava flow. I'm assuming it's the lava flow, and it's just really beautiful. All right, I made it to the bottom of the waterfall. So after a day of adventuring at the waterfall and going into Raglan and checking out the shops, we stayed another night in our tent, and in the morning we woke up and drove to Auckland. Hey, so right now I'm in Auckland. Finally made it here. I'm on Mount Eden. It's really windy. Mount Eden is an old volcano, so there's this huge crater, but you get these like 360 views of Auckland, which is pretty cool. And there's a lot of people around there, but it's kind of fun. People doing photo shoots and tourists from all over the place, so it's a good time. And then my friend took us out on his boat, and it was really nice of him, and we got to see the city from the water, and he actually took us out to the secret spot. It's like a brewery that is inside of an old retired aircraft hangar, and I would have filmed it, but we had to take the dinghy from the boat to shore, and I wasn't sure if I was going to get the cameras wet or not, so I opted out, but you just got to trust me on it. It was really nice. So after Auckland, we started a road trip down to the South Island. A lot of New Zealand is just countryside. There's a lot of cattle, a lot of open fields, a lot of small towns. The small towns kind of feel like old pioneer towns, or strip malls, you know. There's not a lot of in between, but the countryside feels a lot like California, you know, with these grassy hills. Even here feels like Nevada. Just open desert, surrounded by mountains. I have no idea what mountain range that was, but it's gorgeous. Along the way, we found these free campsites. We use an app called Campermate. Works in New Zealand, and you can find free places to park for the night. This is the van we ended up buying. It's my friend's van. We haven't done much to it. We just put an air mattress into the back, so I'm not going to show you guys just yet, but she's lovely. She's been getting us around. And then we're back on the road. I found this slow motion feature on my camera, so there's going to be a lot of it. I really enjoy it. But you'll see here what I meant by pioneer town. These towns are pretty cool. They're all unique, but all similar in their own way. And they kind of remind me of back home in Grass Valley. It's the same kind of vibe. So eventually we made it down through the countryside, down to the coast, and eventually Wellington. Wellington is the capital of New Zealand, and it's a lot like Portland, Oregon. They have a lot of coffee. The weather is usually gray. Wellington, at least the day we were there, was very windy, as you can tell. We were at this light for a while, and I was kind of having a lot of fun filming these people struggle in the wind. But we were only there for a few hours, so we stopped. We got some food, and headed towards the ferry. So it started raining right after we finished dinner. Luckily, we parked pretty close to the restaurant. We hopped in, it was no problem, and then drove out towards the port to catch our ferry. Catching the ferry is really easy. You just gotta show up an hour early. Booking the ferry is really easy. There's 2 ferry companies. One of them's cheaper than the other. I don't remember which one's cheaper. Quick Google search will help you out with that. But you just pick your date when you want to go and book your tickets. The ferry is pretty expensive. We got the cheapest one because it was leaving at 8 p.m. And it was like $230 for 2 people and our van. But yeah, you can expect if you're traveling with a van and 2 people for it to be around $250. We lucked out. We booked it like 2 or 3 days in advance. But I had some friends try to go down south, and the whole month of January was booked out like weeks in advance. So we waited until February. It was a little bit easier. It was pretty stormy that day in Wellington, but the ride was not that bad. This is actually my 3rd time riding the ferry. The first time was miserable, but the last 2 times was not that bad. It is long though. On one of the ferry rides I took, they had a cinema, and we just watched movies the whole time, which was nice, but it's like a 3 or 4 hour ride. I think it's like a 3.5 hour ride. This time I tried to edit video, and I think I all I ended up really doing was transferring files from my SD cards to my iPad, and I spent most of the time just on Instagram because I don't get the internet that often. So having it, I just want to like binge all my social media stuff. But yeah, it wasn't that bumpy, as you can see. It was a pretty nice ride. But yeah, it was a pretty easy ride. After the ride, we found a free camp. We were both pretty tired when we got there, so we just kind of pulled in and parked. But it was a really nice spot. It was 45 minutes away from the port. But then we started our drive south. We drove along the east coast. It was pretty cloudy, but honestly not too bad out. So along the eastern coast of the South Island, you can stop and check out sea lions, and it was actually a lot of fun. Because there's a bunch of like baby seals, they're all playing with each other, swimming around these little pools, and it was pretty cool. So if you're ever driving down the coast, I would recommend stopping just to check it out for a little bit. I think we spent maybe 20 minutes. It was really nice. After we hung out with the seals, we drove down to Christchurch. I posted a lot about Christchurch on my Instagram, so if you don't follow me on Instagram, go do it right now. Christchurch is beautiful, tons of street art, which I love. Then we drove down to Tekapo. Tekapo is known for stargazing. They have a huge observatory there and this beautiful lake. Alright, so now I'm on top of the observatory thing. Look over here. A couple of these guys. And this place. So now I'm at another lake, Lake Pukaki. It's pretty nice. It's on the way to Mount Cook. It's beautiful, as is everything here. I don't know if you can see Mount Cook in the distance. So right now I am at White Horse Campground at the base of Mount Cook, going on a little hike before the sun sets. I don't know what time it is, but the sun's gonna set any time now. So this track right here is called the Hooker Valley track, and it is honestly one of the most beautiful like trails there is in the world that I've ever done. Just it follows this river, you go by 2 lakes, and Mount Cook is gorgeous. They have this little bird, I forgot what his name is, but he's like a super old parrot. I think he's like a Kia or something. And kind of loud and obnoxious, but also super cool and friendly. And then I had a lot of fun with time lapses while I was here. It's just really nice. Alright, so we've been here for a night. We're spending the day hiking around. The campsite here is packed full of people, but there's some nice facilities. There's bathrooms everywhere. There is no shower here, so we had to go into town. It's like 2.5 kilometers away. It's $2 for 3 minutes of hot water. It was enough to get clean. You don't even have to take a shower, really. This place is gorgeous. There's a ton of little hikes all around, but it is packed full of people, so if you ever come here, expect a lot of tourists, but it's well worth it. You look at these views, it's like I could stay here for months and not get bored of it, honestly. So yeah, this is Mount Cook. Hey, thank you for watching another episode of Declination. If you like the channel, if you like the content, please like and subscribe. It means a lot to me. As I'm recording this, I have 93 subscribers, and I'd like to make that 94. So you could be that lucky 94. Really appreciate it. Stay safe. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week.